watching what they're doing, and that hasn't changed. I'm still irregular when issues arise. When with the Board of Education, I have no problem setting up a meeting with the administration and discussing it. They've always been very gracious. I have no problem. I have never had an issue setting a meeting up and discussing what those issues are until it's resolved. And so, to me, this is a natural progression. Me as a candidate for Violent Board of Education is very natural. It's not anything that I really have to change much. Excuse me, allergies. Because I've already been a part of these monthly meetings, and I'm very comfortable in that arena. And so to me, it's just natural talking about the issues that impact the district. Very natural, very common for me, because this is something that I have been doing for many years. Now, the district, we have in the district, as of today, and the data that I received, 9,513 students. Right now, two of the major issues that are impacting our students are graduation readiness, which is their ability to test for math and English language arts, reading comprehension, and chronic absenteeism. So right now for the city of Vineland, we have students at risk at 30.3%, while the state average is 14.9%. That is a 15.4% higher than state average. So Dennis, this is where the conversation starts. When somebody asks me, what's up with this chronic absenteeism, and right away our first resort at times is to blame the administration for not doing enough. I don't know that to be necessarily true. And I say that because from experience many years ago as a student, I understand that chronic absenteeism, even among younger students, is just more complex than that. There are things happening in the child's home that we typically don't discuss, and it's just easier to play the blame game. I am a problem solver. I want to focus on solutions and less critical. I want to provide solutions. I want to be a part of resolving this issue and not always pointing the finger. What can I do to resolve it, right? If I can't make it any better, then I'm just not even going to talk about it. And so that's why we're here. Dennis, what do you think contributes? To me, one of the focuses for me is I would like to create a stronger school-to-home connection. A stronger connection between school and the parent or guardian. I think it starts there. If somebody's not going to school, it's just more than just sending a letter and the occasional automated phone call that says so-and-so has missed school. If you see this pattern, there is something happening within the family life, right? I had a teenager staying with me many years ago. She was in school with my children. She's an adult now, and the family was homeless, and they were moving from house to house, well within the district, and she just couldn't make it to school because there was just nobody to take her. And so we stepped in. Dad gave me temporary custody of her for her to stay so that I could make sure she gets to school. I mean, and this happened until she graduated. And I think about those situations where she wasn't a behavioral problem. She was a smart kid, but there's nothing she could do about her family situation and their failure really to keep a roof over their head and what that caused. And it was only because I knew her that I knew she had missed so many days. Because I don't know who was contacting who. If the address is not steady, sometimes the cell phone numbers are not steady. What effort was made at the time to kind of get to the bottom of what was happening with her? And I was fortunate that I also had a church that also offered support and surrounded this young lady. So it was the church as a team working with me, and then she ended up coming home with me temporarily until she finished high school. And so these are the situations that I think sometimes fall through the cracks and prevent someone from graduating, or they get so far behind that it is just difficult for them to finish. So I'm curious as to what your thoughts are on this.
Well, excuse me. Absenteeism has been always a concern of mine. Obviously, if you're not in school, you can't learn. If you can't learn, you fall behind. You fall behind, the chances of you not graduating at the end of your 12th grade year are increased. We even in the district in the last couple of years have made it a larger initiative amongst individual schools, tasking each individual school to tackle the issue of chronic absenteeism. Now, chronic absenteeism is basically, considered 10% of the total days of school. So we're talking about 180 days of school, 18 days or more is considered chronic absenteeism. But if you think about it, the average that you quoted there, 15.4%, if I'm not mistaken, is the number that you quoted, the state average.
Yeah, the state average is 14.9.
14.9%.
Yeah.
Now, we got to remember, right? There's 700 school districts in the state of New Jersey. I don't even remember the total number. And each individual school's district should be taken as individual school districts. Each school district has their own issues. Each school district has their own strengths. Each school district has their own weaknesses. Now, when we talk about a school district like Vineland, where we know we are in Cumberland County, we are a county and a school district and a city that it's, when we talk about our socioeconomic issues, we are in the bottom half in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, poverty is a real issue.
And what most individuals, a lot of us take for granted that we have a car. A lot of us take for granted that we have a house. It's just something we have. But there are many, many families out there that don't have the means to even have a car, don't have the means for a home. And those things play into why kids sometimes don't get to school on time or at all. We're talking about parents that are worrying about putting food on the table. Right. Kids not eating at home. Lunch and breakfast at our schools are sometimes the only meals our kids get throughout the day in Vineland. This is the only meal they're provided to them. So it's important that we put those things into consideration as well. Now, there are some kids that just don't want to go to school because they don't want to go to school. And it's our responsibility, first of all, and I speak for myself because I am a parent in Vineland. I have 2 children in the Vineland Public Schools. As parents, we need to be the first line of defense when it comes to tackling this issue. We need to make sure that our kids are going to school. And last time I checked, they're kids. We have the say, right? Well, it doesn't matter whether your child is in kindergarten or in 12th grade. They should be getting to school, and we are the first line of defense as parents. Now, the schools, I have always preached a greater parent-school relationship. And I'm glad to say that we are doing that in Vineland. We're creating that partnership. We're creating that bridge between the two that perhaps in years past wasn't there, or was there and it just went away. Now it's we're returning to that, and I'm proud of that because we're seeing little by little, step by step, we're seeing an increase and improvement in some of these numbers and issues that we're having.
I think it's easy when you look at statistics to sometimes assume that somebody's not doing their job.
Correct.
And I never want to look at something assuming because, from personal experience, I just know that it's more in depth than just somebody simply not doing their job.
Right.
I do believe that to build upon that stronger parent to school or guardian to school connection, that the minute you see somebody with this pattern, there should be somebody dispatched. And that's the social service skill that I have, right? That's my education, my training, is dispatching somebody to the home just to see what system, right? What environment the student is living, and not as a disciplinary approach, but more as a how can we help you approach. And therein lies where we can step in, and where the school is not there to offer utility services, right? Food assistance, somebody that knows what you need and well versed in that can refer the family to resources, and together as a multidisciplinary team assisting this family can bring this family out of this critical area, and so the kids can go to school in peace, they can be fed, they could have a steady home with utilities that are on. This is what's impacting, I think, our families. And as somebody that grew up where money was really tight and we often had utilities cut off, it's very difficult to see past that level of always surviving, to see past, okay, I want to dream big. I want to, let me sit and read a book. How can I read a book if all this is happening in my family? It was very difficult for me growing up, just watching my mom go through so much.
I echo those thoughts as well. My parents were not middle class at all. We were definitely low income family. My parents did not go to college, did not attend college, never graduated college. I am a first generation college graduate, but my parents always instilled in me education, even though the opportunities weren't available to them because of different factors. They were a different generation. They always instilled education to us, and that always stuck with me. And it can be done. It can be done if you have a strong family unit at home. If you have, parents that value education, even though they may not have that education themselves, they know the benefit and the blessing that it is to have an education. And it can be done. It just, like it truly says, it takes a village. It takes all of us. We can't just send our kids to school for those 7-8 hours and just, well, they'll take care of it in those 7-8 hours. No, it really takes a village. The school district being involved after hours, if need be, or in different capacities, but having that 24/7 kind of mindset that these kids are going to need us for 24/7 for 12, 13 years that they're in the school system is important, because truly these kids in this generation are facing very different obstacles and very different challenges than you and I faced when we were their age.
Right.
So it really takes an entire village, an entire society to really help these children.
I agree, and I think a level of sensitivity to that as well. I know that we've talked a lot about cultural sensitivity and sometimes understanding the difference between various cultures and how we view family, sometimes community involvement, that we should be sensitive when you're speaking to a family, especially coming from different cultures and countries, how they perceive involvement of this school. And that's important too. But I think it's also sensitivity, because every kid has a story. We can't be quick to label them. This kid is a lost case, and I'm not saying that anybody does, but I think it's easy to go that route and move on and really focus on the kids that are doing well. All these kids should matter to us. Not everybody is college bound, and that's why we want to make the trades focus on training them so that they can support themselves and be able to support their families in the future. That are not necessarily fans of college.
Correct.
Right? But they're skilled. Everybody can do something.
Absolutely.
And everybody has a future. I am a proponent, and I believe that everybody has a plan for their life that is divinely appointed for them. And it is up to us as the adults, the leaders in this community to establish a system that brings out the absolute best in the students, and to create an environment where our educators feel supported. I say, and it is a team effort between your teachers, your parents, the community leaders, and the administration as well.
Absolutely. You mentioned construction trades. You mentioned, these are all kind of near and dear to my heart, because when I first entered the board, I wanted to see a larger footprint in our school district, or especially in the high school level of construction trades, because I know there's a lot of kids that are graduating high school and don't want to go to college. As we see, there are millions and millions and millions of Americans today that have tons of student loan debt and are not even using the degree that they attained with that debt.
Correct.
And they're still paying that debt, and they're probably going to pay that debt, present company included. We're going to be paying that debt for
I'm
many,
still paying
many
my
years.
school loans. Yes, I am.
And it's important to let kids know that college degree, just because you have a college degree doesn't mean that you are going to be successful. And in some cases you are. And I'm a proponent of college degrees. However, there are other choices. There are other options that you can be just as successful, not more.
Yes.
Coming right out of high school.
Yeah.
And that's the construction trades. I mean, individuals. I know of a personal. I was approached to write a letter of recommendation for a young man who just graduated high school, who wants to enter the HVAC union in the local HVAC union. He's just a smart young man, an example of a great young man who can go to college, but he's decided that he wants to pursue that career. He can be making easily six figures in the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah. My son. I have 4 kids. All of them, the last one is still in college. But I have a son, the middle one, Devin. And school just was never his thing. But he's a welder. Mm-hmm. And what I say to them, I really stopped putting the pressure, because I really had my kids on a path, and I thought that every single one of them was going to follow this path. But as a mom, just like our fingerprints are all different, all your children are different. They learn differently. And so I had to pull back and really assess what are his strengths. And I'm talking about him because he's an open book. I have permission to talk about my Devin, and he loves what he does. Yeah. And what I tell him, you're not going to go to school, but whatever it is that you do in the trades, make sure that you become the best at it. Exactly. Make sure that you take that training and all those certifications that you need, that when they hire Devin, they're hiring the best. And he's in the process of doing that now. Yeah. And he's proud of what he does, right? He does some cool things with a welding machine and the equipment and the things that he's able to do that I wouldn't be able to do, right? And we do need them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'd be surprised that the company that he works for, on the back end, how critical they are to the things that we use now.
Yeah.
Right? Entities, buildings, bridges that need really good welding.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We drive on these things. Yeah. And so I have a lot of respect for my son. I respect what he does. And it did take a while for me to understand how equally important the college education is. Equally important are the trades. But in order for you to make a decent living, you do need to be skilled in something. Correct. Be good at whatever it is that you're going to do. And so often I find that in my personal life, that many that are graduating high school are just unprepared for the adult life, and they feel lost. Oh yeah,
and that's always been, again, myself. When I got on the board, I always wanted to have individuals prepared for real life, and that's why this is, we've, as a board, we've committed to teaching financial literacy, which is highly important in today's world. But I remember there are courses in my high school career when I was in high school that I remember, and there are many that I don't. But the ones that I do remember are, for example, Intro to Business Management. I'll always remember that class. That class taught me the basics of how to write a check, how to balance your checkbook, how to read the stocks. And I always remember, and I still remember Mr. Barbetto, his name, the teacher. I could see his face today, and I remember what he looks like. And those classes, because those are the things I've used in real life. I've used those skills in real life. And it's important that we kind of implement that, give kids real life experience at school, so that when they get out of school, they can remember.
Yeah, what is a checking account?
Even just financial literacy, how to budget, how to if you spend more than you have, hey, that's a bad thing. Yeah, but unfortunately, kids don't know that.
Right,
they don't know that.
And then their fees, your bank fees. My God.
Yeah.
Don't bounce a check with them fees.
Yeah, no. So it's important that we give kids real life skills, so when they graduate high school, they can pursue their whatever else they're going to pursue, but just have at least the basic real life skills that they're going to need to just be on their own.
Yeah, and I have some statistics that, some data here that I pulled. Why there's a demand for skills trade. There is a skills gap. There is a significant gap between the number of available skilled workers and the number of workers trained to fill them. So this is a legitimate demand.
Absolutely.
And the earlier that they get into these fields, the better it is for them to be able to be trained early. An aging workforce. A large portion of the current trade workforce is over 45, leading to anticipated retirements and opening up of new opportunities for new entrants.
I might go back to school.
They need to be ready.
I might go back.
Listen, some of my plumber friends make a lot of money.
Oh, they do. So
sometimes I say, I am in the wrong business. A high population and density, and this says New Jersey's large high density population creates a constant need for skilled workers to maintain infrastructure, bridges, right? Cars, homes, and businesses.
That's true.
Right? Things are in a highly populated area, things are going to be used more and break down more. So you're going to need people to fix it, right? And infrastructure and energy growth, the energy sector and general construction require a large pool of skilled trades to build and maintain critical systems. Let's talk about boilers, right? Without a boiler's license, you can't sit in a boiler, which in some entities run 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And so a person actually sits in the boiler room 24 hours a day to ensure
black seal,
that black seal to ensure that the boiler that's running the heating and cooling systems in a huge building functions and does not break down.
Yep. And those individuals earn
some good living
salary.
and you'll never and rarely do you see them because they're in the basement. They're out of the site where the main population is going this way. You have your engineers and your boiler workers are in another area, and this is what keeps us going and moving. While we're sitting in a desk typing something, somebody's in the boiler room making sure that we're nice and toasty.
That's right, or nice and cool.
Or nice and cool.
Yeah.
When we need it.
Yeah,
in
we
the summertime.
definitely don't have, a lot of individuals today. If they would just take advantage, I mean, like right now, for example, teachers. There's a shortage of teachers across the board. You go to college right now, you get your teaching degree, you have your pick of where you want to go, and you can negotiate your salary. That's how much the shortage of teachers is right now. The same thing with these individuals. There's going to be a huge shortage of all these skilled laborers. Laborers, and there's going to be a time when you're going to get out of college, or you're going to get out of your trade school, and you're going to be able to command your salary, where you want to work, how long you want to work. It's going to be an advantage to individuals that take this route. I know in the school system, we have individuals that have those black seal licenses and boiler operators, and they are required to be there.
Yeah, someone has to be there. So it's either them on overtime.
Yeah.
Or
if there's an event being held, after hours, they have to be there.
They have to be there.
Yeah.
And this is the back part, the back end staffing that many don't realize. Probably when you rent events.
Yes. Yeah. When we rent, schools are used for other events, from community events, and there has to be if there's a requirement for a black seal operator to be there, they have to be there.
Yeah. So these people, the skills trade, are very, very important.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about some of the benefits of a career in skills trade. We have good wages. We know that they have the capabilities of earning six figures at some point in time in their career.
Oh, yes.
And this is without formal college.
Absolutely.
Just being good and certified in their particular field. It says skilled trades can lead to high earning potential, with average salaries in the trades reaching $127,000 a year. That's average. Job security, again, essentially, often remain in demand, even with economic downturns, because things still need to keep running.
Yes.
So it's like a hospital. We're always going to have sick people.
Yep. That's why, funeral parlors are never.
Yeah, listen, why? Because people pass away. These are the things that even in economic downturns, there's always going to be work. Even during when everything got shut down for COVID, I still needed a plumber.
Yeah.
I needed an electrician. Those things don't stop.
Now, I will say at the Vineland Public Schools, I'll put our construction trade program against anyone's.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
And we're just trying to even make it even better, but I'll put ours against anyone's.
That's good to hear. Hands-on work. So it provides a balance of physical and mental engagement, allowing workers to create tangible results necessary for the installation and maintenance of heating and cooling systems in homes and businesses. So my son is very physical, right? The welder. He's very hands-on. He's muscly. That's kind of what he likes.
Okay.
And being skilled, he can be proud of his work and still get his physical fitness taken care of at the same time. And the entrepreneurial opportunities. I've gone to school with individuals that opened up plumbing businesses, right? I know people that started that they were workers within a company. It was HVAC technicians, electricians, plumbers. And now, because of the experience that they obtained from working with these companies, they established a team and they launched on their own. And now they are their own business owners. So it's the coolest thing when you see somebody, a faithful HVAC guy, a faithful electrician, work with somebody for 10, 15 years, when they're confident enough to launch on their own, and then they're successful.
Yeah.
That is awesome to see, and this is in our own town.
Yeah.
And so I think it goes beyond an individual being an hourly rate person to you can actually be your own CEO of your own company.
And I would like to see some sort of partnership between local businesses, local companies, and our schools district.
Yes.
When individuals, some sort of apprenticeship program, some sort of school to work program, where they learn the skills at our schools, and they go out and practice.
What is it that you need? Because sometimes at the college level, we would ask our local businesses, when you're developing a particular curriculum, right, for a certification, the first thing that we do, even at the college level, is you want to talk to those experts in that particular field. What is required to be successful in the field? What needs to be taught? And then you're getting, firsthand knowledge.
Because they would know. They would know better.
You would know what a good employee needs to know when you hire them.
Yeah, it's and you like create a cheat code.
Yeah, right? You create a curriculum and certification program based on the actual need of this particular industry.
Absolutely.
And having that, really, it's an advantage to the students.
And you think about, if we can have that strong partnership and have those manufacturing companies, those trade companies in, let's say, I'm talking about Vineland, individuals would stay in Vineland.
Yeah.
And the economy, the impact to the economy of Vineland and of New Jersey, obviously, would only benefit because individuals will stay here, they'll spend their money here, they'll buy their homes.
They'll buy homes here.
And they won't move out of state.
Yeah.
So it's an advantage all around.
Yeah, I agree. And it's also an affordable path. Since me and Dennis can tell you all about our student loans that we're still paying, we can tell you that college, although that's the path that you and me choose, it's not an affordable one, always.
No.
It is very expensive. I can tell you, even putting my kids as a single mother through school every year, it was a struggle making sure that they were financially ready to start the semester. Yeah. And there was a lot of pulling from here, there, and everywhere just to make sure that they had the money to continue. And so the older one finished. My third one finished. Devin's number 2. The third one finished at Montclair. And now I have my last one at Rowan College. And I'm grateful that at the local college level, that it's a little more affordable. So it's been a little easier for us. But I can be honestly, I'm not looking forward to when she transfers to the 4-year university, because I'm hearing things about how, the tuition has risen, and things are just really, really expensive. And so it is affordable if you're going to an electrician training or welding.
And not to discourage anyone that wants to go to college but has a plan, go for it.
It's
doable.
It's
going to pay off. It's
doable. If that's your path, you will find a way.
Yes.
But for those that's not an option,
correct.
The trades and certification are, less expensive.
Yeah.
I'm going to say my son, although he finished college, he also, wanted to be an electrician. So he had his bachelor's degree in business administration, and then he went and got his certification in as an electrician. Now it was $12,000 total.
Yeah.
Right? Not a year.
Yeah, that's like half a semester.
Yeah. Yeah.
In college.
Yeah. $12,000 for the entire year. So he had both, and at some point in time, the older one, my son passed away, but at some point in time, I think that those two would have come together. As an electrician with his business administration degree, he could have opened up his own business because he had the management side and he also had the hands-on electrician side.
Yeah.
So I think that was his future goal. So there's a lot of great things for, I think, possibilities for students that are graduating, and for us to do everything that we can as community leaders, because right now that's what I am right now. I'm not a board member. I am a concerned community leader running to be a board member, but I care that our kids are graduating without a clear direction. It's the worst feeling in the world when you leave the student world to go into the adult world without a plan.
Correct.
Right? And nobody's going to help you with your plan.
Yeah.
Typically you're on your own, figure it out. And it's heartbreaking because so many, even after they graduate, still need that guidance. Hey, go there, talk, and that hand, right? Some help to know where to go and what to apply for. Yeah. Another topic, Dennis, that I know it's of critical nature is working on our graduation readiness, and that in particular, graduation readiness is based on test scores in math and English for those in the high school years that will eventually either have them ready for graduation or not. And Vineland is 65% that are not ready. Not already, are not ready. And the state average is 42%. Now, I will say, steady since 2023, 2024, and 2025, the rates have gone up. There has been an increase of 13.4% since 2023. And so, again, this is another complex problem that I think a stronger school to parent, everything starts. Again, everything starts in the home.
Yes. Right?
Disciplining other kids, it's a home life issue. Or not. It's a home life issue. Homework, studying, and establishing an environment where kids can thrive academically. Then you have to have something in the home that affords that space for the student to do research, type of paper, go to the library. I don't see how any child can thrive in a chaotic environment.
Yeah, it's important because, like you said, in the home and different factors. Again, different factors many homes are, we are in different environments, but it's important because that whatever is taught to them in the school is only reinforced when they come home.
Right.
They have to practice what they're taught at home. I fight with my kids all the time about homework, and they really. But I tell them, listen, you're not. It's just like they're baseball players. It's just you have the game, which is like going to school, but practice is homework. Practice. That's how you get better. You get better at practice, and you get better at doing your math, your English, or your science at home doing homework. And again, I know every household is not the same. I know every household does not have the same resources. I know every household does not have a dedicated space for kids to do homework or even internet access. And I'm fully
That's
aware.
a major one now.
Yeah, and that's a major
to
one.
do research. Yeah.
And so I understand that. But but you can find that help if you ask. If you need the help, please reach out and ask. There are resources out there, libraries, there's organizations, there's low cost internet. The providers, by law, I think, have to provide.
It's according to Comcast provides that if you're below a certain income,
correct.
Either your Wi-Fi I think is $9.99 I think a month.
Something, something somewhat affordable for most individuals or most households. So there's ways to help out in those areas where you perhaps don't have the resources, but it's important these kids do what they're supposed to do at home, because when they come to school they're prepared. The tests reflect those individuals that are prepared. Now we know not everyone's a great test taker. Not everyone is they can implement what they know if they do it hands-on, or they can tell you how things, but when it comes to tests, it's different. Now I'm not gonna say that 65% are all that they don't like taking tests. Of course not. But there's some individuals that don't like taking tests and don't do well scoring and doing taking tests. So there are many factors, but like you mentioned, we are gradually increasing our numbers.
Yeah, and that was in math. So let me read off the English. The English that was in math. The 65% was math not ready, and then the English is 35.2% not ready, and the state average is 19.3%. And again, there is a steady increase of 19.8% since 2023. So the needle is going up. We are headed in the right direction, but I still say these numbers are still unacceptable.
Oh, sure.
Our desire is to see these students achieve higher levels.
At the very least, be at the state average.
Be at the state average should be the minimum.
Yeah.
And I do believe.
And these are issues across the board, across the nation. It's not. This is not issues that are, particular to
just
Vineland,
particular to specific to Vineland.
Yeah.
But with that being said, regardless of what may be happening nationally,
Sure.
It really doesn't take the responsibility of us as a district to do everything that we can to change this and continue to point the finger to a higher level of succession, succeeding for our students and for better student outcomes. Now, if anybody has any questions, Dennis and I are here. You can call in at 856-696-0092. Obviously, the conversation today is education within the district of Vineland. We're both from Vineland. That will be the focus of our conversation today, and improving student outcomes across the board. And so if we welcome any questions regarding that would make our conversation here between us more robust. And again, the phone number is 856-696-0092. So these are some of the strategies, Dennis, that I think are already in place. And I'm going to say we can build on this. Right now, you have a parent guardian letter guidance that will meet with the students and call each parent. What I don't want to see is the checkoff box. Oh, I called Mrs. So-and-so. They were not home. Move on.
Right.
I want to see in-depth involvement.
Follow-up.
I want follow-up. And I want us not to give up if you are not able to locate the parent. We got to be accountable. If your child is coming to school, you got to talk to us.
Yeah.
And to me, just ignoring, that's just not acceptable. And at that point, then it is up to the school to hold the parent or the guardian responsible for whatever is happening in the child's life. Students will be able to take, and now these are some of the workarounds to the students not being able to pass these tests in a satisfactory manner. They are able to retest, right?
Yes.
And then there are other options for them to be able to graduate. Now, some feel, obviously this is radio. I want to present other positions. Some feel that we have lowered, as a state, have lowered scores just to make it a more, increase the possibilities and to really work on these graduation numbers. If you lower the scores that are required to test, then it'll make it easier, and you're going to see that those statistics bump up. And then at that point, some feel that the diploma is really not worth much if the state is lowering these scores. Now, I haven't confirmed that to be true. There are articles out there that are stating that the state has lowered that. So I'll have to do some research. If that is the case, and it is a valid argument that the state is lowering the standards themselves. Therefore, we're not really working our way up. They're just lowering their standards down. And that's not helping anybody.
Right.
So,
and I don't know that to be true either.
Yeah, so I would have to do, I can't say that. I haven't confirmed that is in fact what has happened, but I'll definitely, we're going to have another conversation again at some time in the near future, and I hope to have some concrete data on, did New Jersey lower their test scores? And I'll find out about that. Also, the supervisors in ELA, which is English Language Arts and Math, discuss their scores with their department members, and together as a team discuss plans to help the students. They also have summer curriculum revisions, close class reading, close pre-algebra and math lab courses. And I think that is going to be beginning this year. And that is a more intense focus on those weakened areas. So I was on a show last week, and one of the things that we discussed was the difficulties if you don't grab the fundamentals of the math, and then the class keeps building, you're just lost.
Yeah. Even the way they teach math is different now.
Yeah. I don't think that has helped. It definitely has not.
Sometimes when my kids come home and I'm helping them with math, I'm like, I know how to do this. And I show them, and they're like, Dad, that's not how you do it. I was like, what do you mean? That's how exactly
I got
how you do it.
I got the answer.
I got the answer.
But apparently the route has changed.
It's a totally different way than to do.
I don't know if that helped.
I don't know either. I understand perhaps the thinking of, the progression, how you got there is what maybe they're trying to teach. But at the end of the day,
I'm a fan of keep it simple.
Isn't the answer the important part?
Yeah.
Right? So.
Did I get to the right answer? But did I get to the right answer?
Right.
But I think a lot of the class, I think a lot of the teachers want to see how you got that answer.
Right.
And I guess my way was just not the right way.
I guess not.
I guess not. But
is it now, right?
But as a child, I did struggle with the fundamentals. Now, as I shared in a previous show, I was enrolled in a gifted and talented program. So my strength is reading and writing. I've always been an avid reader, and I could write term papers and research papers with my eyes closed. Math was always my weak area. So while I am in these classrooms with really smart kids, right? I just couldn't understand. It just didn't click. The light bulb did not go off. And so what is the class supposed to do? Stay stuck
wait for you
while I'm trying to memorize my multiplication tables, or move on, and then I'm like this lost kid.
Yeah, because teachers have only a limited amount of time and days to teach what they have to teach to an entire class or entire grade, and it's hard. And I know there's teachers out there that take the extra time, and I've witnessed it myself with my own kids teachers. They take the extra time, and they're great teachers out there that do that and take up their own time and tutor kids and things like that. But yeah, it's very difficult. It's a challenge when you have to teach 24 kids a lesson and you have one or two that are falling behind. Do you wait for those two to catch up? And they may never catch up.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you can jump in at step 15.
Right.
If you haven't mastered 1 to 15, you don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because obviously you build on these mathematical principles. If you never got it, you can't complete an algebra equation.
Yeah.
You can't solve a problem without that. And so that was very difficult for me. I just was one of those kids that math was very and on my own, because I couldn't depend on anybody at home to help me with that. I think sometimes the right teacher allows things to click.
There was no Google back then either.
There was no internet to help me with the arrows pointing, well, this is why this number moved over here. It's a little easier because I think online will help you figure out how you got to that point. And it does help. We are better equipped, I think, than ever before. But the kids have to have internet to be able to see that.
Sure.
And then and one thing I know that none of this is on any of my data, but I often think about, and it is a topic that is good to discuss as we're wrapping this up, and it's all about education. The quality of our education now is different because we have AI. We have a higher level of technology. And now there are those that are bringing up concerns about the integrity of the work that students produce, not just in the Violent Public School District, but even at the college level. I mean, AI will give you any information you need, for the most part, some detailed information. And I think, will that help the situation with our math scores? Because it'll solve a problem for you. But are they really learning?
Right, and that's the key.
And that to me is a question. Now, if AI is writing a paper for me, then I'll never learn proper formatting. I'll never do my own research. I'll never know what it is like to work to put something together you could be proud of. And that is a concern of mine. I'm like, what? We have entered a new era that I don't think that there are appropriate safeguards for that either.
It's pretty much right now. It's a free for all really when it comes to AI. It has potential to be very positive, but it also has very potential to be very, very destructive and negative.
Right.
When it comes to the education setting, like you said, it's scary what you can do with AI. I've tried it, and I've excuse me, I've worked with it, and I still work with it, and it's very scary what you can do with it, and the kind of answers that you get, or just how quickly you get something when you ask it. It's almost like you're talking to a human being sometimes.
But an instant human being.
Yeah. Like it's
like
an
really, instant professor that give you the 10-point answer.
So we need to put the safeguards when it comes to AI, because we don't want our kids to just rely on that AI to coast through their education career.
Right.
I work at a university, and I know that we put it, certain software, certain things to detect AI. You're not going to catch everyone. But
so you're telling me that there is software, because I know that as a former college student, that all our papers were put through a plagiarism system, right?
Yeah.
And so it would this word doesn't sound right. Change it. Yeah. But the body of the work, like my professor knew, no, these are my thoughts.
No, there's software out there that'll detect, like, if it's 90% AI or 85% AI or likely not.
So
AI.
It does exist.
Oh, yeah, there's software out there.
Okay, so that makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, there is.
I'm like, how do we even know that they're really doing this work?
No, but it's out there, like I said, but it's not 100% foolproof.
Something slips.
Some stuff.
And I will tell you what really bugged me. There was a video of this young man at his college graduation put up a sign or his laptop, and he said on this laptop was AI did all my work, and was laughing. Now that infuriated me, You're putting this out there,
Yeah.
and you are making a mockery of higher education when you laugh and say AI did all my work. Now I hope somebody saw that, and I hope so, and like pulled it back and made him write a couple of research papers for his diploma, because for him to say that and put it on social media for millions to see. And I would say that as a professor, I would be, I'm an inactive adjunct still for the county college, and I know that we would put our papers through the plagiarism, but this is before AI.
This is
now we're dealing with a different beast.
I mean, it is. It's you can
great for information.
You pretty much tell AI to do anything. I mean, create pictures, it's really scary. I mean, if you at any given time you go through social media right now, half that stuff you see, videos you see, things that look real are AI, and people believe it and repost it.
I know.
And it's really scary. So,
we're going to wrap this up, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank Dennis Rivera, current sitting Violent Board of Education member, representing his own personal opinions on these issues, as I did today as well. But for the purpose of communicating with the community, the issues that we have, we are hopeful that we can work together. If I'm successful in this election with your help, I hope that I will be, and I will secure one of the 3 seats that are open this year. I will be working with a heck of a team together to develop policies and procedures to assist the teachers in improving student outcomes across the board. And also